on 570 WNAX.
And good afternoon. Welcome back to your afternoon 5-State Farm Report. Danielle Drotzman, your host here for 570 WNAX. Want to first take a moment to thank our sponsors, the Smet Farm Mutual Insurance, Fordyce Co-op, and Total Auctions and Real Estate for bringing you the afternoon 5-State Farm Report. Well, with that, we are continuing throughout your program here today with a special guest that we're excited to welcome on. I have with me Andy Swanson. He is an area agronomy manager with Wyffels Hybrids. So, Andy, thanks for joining us here today. And how are you?
Yeah, glad to be here, Danielle.
Great. Yeah. And I guess we had a great weekend for the 4th. So, how was your 4th of July weekend?
It was good. It was nice and warm, and everybody kept their fingers, so we'll call it a success.
There you go. That's a win for sure. So you just started with Wyffels Hybrids here as an agronomy manager. So maybe first just kind of fill us in on what areas you're serving and what you will exactly be helping producers with.
Yep. So this spring, I started with Wyffels once they made their announcement that they were expanding into not only Nebraska but also going the other way into Indiana. So with that expansion, we're building out the team here. So I'm covering eastern Nebraska and southwest Iowa currently, and I I am here to help growers with all things corn. One of the things that's great about Wyffels Hybrids is we're specialists, right? We don't worry about any other crops. We take care of corn.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess it's, that northeast, eastern Nebraska, western Iowa, that's right in our neck of the woods, right in our listening area. So that's very exciting that you guys get to expand into those areas. But like you said, you guys are experts, and I'm sure you have many years of experience. So maybe fill us in on what your background is and what you kind of have specialized in over the years.
Yeah, I've got a few more gray hairs than I care to think about, and with that comes some experience. But yeah, I've been around the ag industry really all my life. Grew up on a farm, but in production ag and row crop agriculture. Whether that was with the co-op or as a chemistry rep or as a agronomist for other seed companies. Been around and gaining that experience all the way through, and seen a lot and done a lot in my years.
For sure. And I guess since you have started on the job, I'm sure you have done some scouting and stuff. So did we in fact see knee-high corn by the 4th of July?
Yeah, if we did see knee-high corn, that might be a problem. That might be something that I get called out for. Maybe we need to update some folksy wisdom and call it pollen in your eye by the 4th of July or something like that.
There you go. There you go. For sure. Yeah. I was looking at some of the corn around our place and in fact, it's irrigated, but I'm like, that's almost like knee high by the 4th of July now. So definitely probably need to update the saying. But I guess with that, how are crops looking so far in your region?
Right here, so I live in North Bend, Nebraska, and I would say right here, the central part of eastern Nebraska is kind of the garden spot right now. We got a lot of growing season left to go, so I don't want to jinx anything, but you get a little bit further north, and guys are struggling with some dry conditions, northwest Iowa and northeast Nebraska, and you get a little further into Iowa, and there was some delayed planting from too much rain, and we've had wind and hail all through. So, with everything that it's been through so far, the corn looks pretty dang good.
Good deal. And I guess, are you seeing any disease or insect pressure here? Have you seen any issues with that recently?
Yeah, so that's definitely something that we're keeping an eye on, especially with the wind and hail, and maybe when crops get a slow start. We want to be very observant when it comes to scouting for diseases. I think it's been probably 3 weeks that Iowa State and the University of Nebraska both put out, the first tar spot being reported in the states, and the counties continue to light up. That doesn't mean that tar spot is just exploding. It just means that it's been reported. So keep an eye on it. and we'll think about spraying a fungicide if we need to go after it.
For sure. And I guess as we kind of head into the later half of our growing season, we might start to see some corn tasseling here soon. But I guess any questions from your producers that you seem to get asked a lot this time of year that I guess you'd maybe just want to address here?
Yeah, so get some questions about rootworm feeding. How do I know what I have for pressure, and also do I have to spray a fungicide this year? And I always give the agronomist answer of it depends. I almost lead every conversation with that, but when it comes to, let's say, fungicide, it depends on what your goal is in spraying that fungicide. Are you trying to go after a specific disease? Are you trying to get some of those plant health, those greening benefits to reduce drought stress and things like that? And so knowing what you're doing before you just go spend the money helps you know what you should be, the timing of it, and what products you should be using. The Crop Protection Network does a fantastic job of posting, when it comes to the diseases and chemistries, which ones work better on which diseases. And so that's a great resource to go out and look up.
Good to know. All right. Well, like we said, you are covering eastern Nebraska and western Iowa. So I guess if we would have any questions, we'd need to reach out, want to get in touch for Wyffels. I guess, how can we reach out to you and chat?
Yeah. So, man, I should have been better prepared. I know we have an agronomy email address, but if you go to Wyffels.com, you can find the agronomy page there, and we got a ton of resources there, as well as all of our contact information for the agronomists in the area.
Perfect. All right. As always, Andy, thank you for joining us here today and taking some time to fill us in and introduce yourself. So welcome to the area, and hope it goes well. So with that, thank you.
All right. Thanks, Danielle. Thanks for having me.
Perfect. All right. That's Andy Swanson. He is an area agronomy manager with Wyffels Hybrids, joining us here today on your afternoon 5-State Farm Report. Well, with that, we'll take a break. Jim will have some weather for you. And then here at the bottom of the hour, we will look at your cash grain numbers. So stay tuned.
We're your big friend.
And I'll be there. Yeah.
570.
You've got a friend.